What's up, everybody? Welcome to Move the Sticks. DJ Bucky, our good friend Rhett, back with you as we are at week one, boys. We made it. We've grinded. We've powered our way through. Fortunately, the Padres are still alive in baseball, which is a nice treat. But nonetheless, it's football season. It's the NFL is here. First of all, Rhett, welcome back to the
Thank
program.
You, guys. Thank you, man. It's great to be back. This is like football heaven right here, though. We just wrapped week one in earnest at college football. Now we get game week in the league. Like this has got the juices flowing a little bit today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got a short week. Yeah, I'm excited. We got a short week. We got a Thursday game coming up, Kansas City, Baltimore. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, we're getting into a regular groove now. So this is what these Monday shows, I should say early shows. We did not go yesterday because of Labor Day. But we, during the season, we'll be 4 a week. Nabil can put it in the chat if I'm mistaken, but I believe we will have 4 episodes. Or is it 5? 5 episodes a week.
5.
Yeah, Let's making us work. 5 episodes a week. So we are going to be jam-packed full of stuff, including one of our favorite things to do, which we started last year, which is the rookie draft. So every week, it's basically fantasy football, but it's just for rookies. So we like to talk about the guys we just talked about in the run-up to the draft, kind of guide them through their freshman campaign here in the NFL. So we will have that coming up a little bit later on today's show. Also going to have some hits and misses, which is an old favorite from the pod we'll bring back. I'll give you a report on somebody that I got right, one I got wrong. We're going to have a little chat on that. But before we get to the NFL stuff, guys, I feel like we do need to recap, which was a pretty wild weekend of college football. Buck, what was your big takeaways from the college football weekend?
We can pour a little dirt on Florida State. It's over.
Oh, baby.
Yikes.
Like it's unfortunate that we're only 3 days in September and the season is already over for them, but it's over for the Noles.
Dang. I mean, look, it's hard to argue with that, right? I mean, after getting upset by Georgia Tech, then upset by BC at home. Oh,
hey, Rhett,
Sir.
Quick question. Who are the 2 teams that have dominated the ACC for the last decade? Who are the 2 programs?
Florida State and Clemson.
Florida State and Clemson. Yeah. Florida State starts out 0-2. And I'm just going to say, I don't know a lot about cooking, all right? But I know that before you put the meat on the grill, you like to tenderize it. And I like to think that the Georgia Bulldogs did App State a little favor last week as we had to take on Clemson, see if we can't get Clemson to join their brethren Florida State in the 0-2 club.
Can I give my takeaway here real quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Idaho, here it comes.
The Big Ten reigns supreme.
Oh, Big Ten.
17
Rhett Lewis, ladies and gentlemen.
and 1 on opening weekend. Never mind UNC. Never mind. Well, I mean, that, by the way, the funny part about that
Bucky
is
wasn't having that.
That dude missed 2. The Dragon, Dragan Kesich, who missed 2 field goals in that game, is like the best kicker in the league. He's like one of the best kickers in college football. Missed 2. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But the Big Ten versus SEC battle, notch 1 in the Big Ten column for week 1 in this opening salvo here, okay, of the biggest and best college football season ever. So I feel pretty good about that.
Except though, Buck, the SEC, I mean, they still Georgia looked like best in show. I mean, just beat the taste out of the mouth of Clemson. Alabama really, really struggled with Kalen DeBoer regime, where they won by 100 points. And so you've got in Tennessee. How do you pronounce that kid's last name, by the way, Buck? He's a really talented quarterback, man.
I wouldn't try and pronounce it. I just call him Nico.
Yeah, Nico. Nico can spin it, and he can run. Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's still those top. Ole Miss looked good. Jackson Dart was throwing it all over the place. So I still think. But yeah, that's true. The heavyweights though of the Big Ten and the SEC, that's going to be. I mean, we're fast forwarding to the playoff, Buck.
Yeah,
that's going to be 7-8 of the teams, man.
And Penn State looked much better.
Yes.
Much better. Offense. I mean, the defense has always been pretty good, but like offense was a big improvement, and that's going to be a fun storyline to follow throughout the season.
It will be, but can we not? I know we're like on the West Coast, and we tend to have recency bias and local bias, but can we talk about the Trojans a little bit?
I know.
Can we talk about USC and?
That was a throwback.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I did not see that coming. I did not see the Trojans kind of putting their hands on the LSU Tigers. But anytime you have Brian Kelly, friend of the program, pounding on the table, talking about the bad.
He was upset.
I mean, that's the Brian Kelly that I know and love, the one from Cincinnati and Notre Dame. He finally showed up.
Guys, I'm certainly not like tooting the horn here, but I had an opportunity to I've seen USC in person a couple of times now. This 2024 version of the USC Trojans started with the spring game where they forced 5 turnovers on defense, right, against Lincoln Riley's offense. Danton Lynn is the DC, I think makes a huge difference. He's got those guys rolling, man. And they got contributions, in a lot of different ways on defense. They were a good tackling team in this game. They put some pressure on Nussmeier. I mean, look, Nussmeier was pretty good in this game too. Both quarterbacks were pretty dang good in this game. It was just a difference.
Mason Taylor was good too.
Yeah, it was a difference of big plays, right? Big play. I mean, like USC doubled them in big plays, essentially explosive plays. And so I love Miller Moss's moxie in this one. He took a couple of big hits. Some of his biggest throws were throws where he was under the most duress, which I thought was pretty cool too. So there's a lot to like about USC squad. I am really fired up. My second game for Big Ten Network's in the Coliseum this weekend against Utah State. So I want to get another look.
That's fun. I want to revisit something, Buck, that we had talked about, which was one of the major changes in college football was the helmet communication now between your play caller and your quarterback. And because of the pace of play in college where everybody's in tempo, and you can go tempo because you have roster depth, more so than a 53-man roster. So you can afford to play faster, and it's going to give more time for the play caller to spend in the helmet of the quarterback. So who does that provide the biggest advantage? Who are the 2 names that we mentioned, Buck? Lane Kiffin and Lincoln Riley are 2 guys that will benefit greatly from this. And Lane Kiffin, that was a layup line in that game. Yeah. I mean, that was a piece of cake. And then Lincoln Riley for a quarterback making his second start against, LSU wasn't good on defense last year, but they got a lot of dudes. That's a raucous environment. And I thought Miller Moss played great. And I think a lot of that, I give Miller Moss a lot of credit for that, obviously. But I think Lincoln Riley having comms later into the process is going to be a huge, huge advantage in that. And the other thing that I'll add real quick, I had tweeted this out because everybody on Twitter was eviscerating Lincoln Riley. He's wasting his timeouts in the second half and just, they're not going to have any timeouts left. And I'm sitting here going like, okay, am I taking crazy pills, or is this kid's second start? And there's confusion there. You're trying to run the play on, you're getting personnel out there. The last thing I want is a chaotic, snap. We got linemen don't know the snap count, the ball's on the ground. Like, I'm not new. Whoa, let's just calm down. If using a timeout early prevents us from turning the ball over in a 1-possession game, then I don't give a crud about burning my timeouts. But to me, I think nobody ever talks about the other side of that, of why they use timeouts like that, instead of saying, as a coach, Buck, you just have to have all your timeouts coming to the end of the game. That's your job. Like, that's not how it works.
It's not how it works. I mean, you need to use them when you need to use them. You would like to keep at least one in your back pocket, but sometimes it's more important to get the play right in the moment. And when I think about Lincoln Riley and Miller Moss, it kind of reminds me of a crosstown team, the LA Rams, when Sean McVay took over for Jared Goff. And we saw that offense in LA with the Rams absolutely explode, with Sean McVay able to, I would say, exploit the tactics of the communication device with Jared Goff. Made the game very easy for him. And look, it unfairly painted a picture for Jared Goff like he was just a robot, but it certainly helped him work out of the slump that he was in under the previous staff, and he became a much better player. For Miller Moss, look, it's bowling with bumpers. It's allowing him to get his confidence until about the middle of the season. He's able to handle those situations on his own. It's one of the things that people didn't talk about, but it's a huge asset to the quarterback to be able to have the coach be able to talk all the time.
Hold on, Rhett, one sec, because I want to just follow that up real quick with you, Buck. Because remember, we had said that people were wondering like how much the communication, like, okay, what's an example of how that communication can help? I'll give you one quick example. You have an RPO called, right? So if you're last year, that play call is signaled in. You're not talking to him, so it's just the card. And okay, I'm the quarterback. I look to the sideline. I get the formation. I get the play call. I communicate that. We go. So say it's an RPO, right? How about when you're in this situation, you can go, hey, here's a play call, blah blah blah, and then hey, if the linebacker pulls up, look at the tight end. Like, yes, he can give him that little key, that little hey, the linebacker's up, just peek the tight end before you go. And so bam, and to hit and you can just leak him. Like there's these little that is it. That's a huge play in that game. And maybe that was designed all week and they knew that's where that ball was going to go. But there's multiple options in that call, and you can put an emphasis on a play call instead of just getting it from the card.
And here's another way that I'll say it. Talking to Will Stein, the Oregon offensive coordinator, ahead of my game against between Oregon and Idaho, we were asking a bunch of time we spent in that production meeting on how they're using the helmet comms, and it's a factor, and it adds another layer to their tempo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, they finish a play, bam, they're on the line of scrimmage within 6-7 seconds. They get up there. Now he's got 20 seconds to assess. And he's just and Dylan Gabriel's got his eyes on the defense the whole time, as opposed to eyes to the sideline looking, and Will's in his ear the whole time saying, hey, this is what we got. Let's wait. We're going to wait. We're going to wait. All right. They're going to declare. We're going to try to get into a personnel grouping that has some indicators for us. We're going to see it. And then with 18 seconds, he can go, whatever their language is, it's play one. Dylan gets that out. Boom. 15 seconds, clocks off, or, the communication's off. That ball is snapped and they are rolling. That's a new layer of tempo that gives, now they have 4 different ways they can run this thing in terms of getting up the line of scrimmage. That's pretty valuable too now.
Yeah, I think that's really valuable because I think it forces the defense to always be on go. You can limit the substitution
and declared,
and you have to declare what it is. But also, you can play fast or slow with that. You can have them lining up, sitting in their stance a long time, and just kind of going through it. And whether you have to help the quarterback or not, there's an advantage to kind of making the defense simplify and just kind of play like toy soldiers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the other takeaway, there's so many different layers to this first full weekend of college football. But one thing as we start to transition towards the NFL, one other thought that I had, which I think makes a lot of sense. We've talked about these receivers coming into the NFL and having an immediate impact. We've seen it with rookies over the last few years. We're going to have a rookie draft in just a few minutes, or we're going to have a plethora of wide receivers to choose from who we think could have immediate impact. And what we saw in the college football weekend was true freshman wide receivers at Ohio State, Alabama. I mean, going off because it's the transition for a wideout. They're so well trained now from high school to college. It's not a big deal. And from the college to the NFL, Buck, I feel like these guys, they can take off like a rocket when they get to the next level. It's not an adjustment period anymore.
No, it's not an adjustment period. And it's one of those things that we'll talk about, the trickle up effect in terms of these young wide receivers making plays right away. Not only at the collegiate level, but eventually they make plays early in their careers at the NFL level, just because they're exposed to so many things early because of 7-on-7 and flag football and those things. But to watch the college game where these guys are just kind of, just jumping into the mix and having success, you got to love it. And this is a conversation for a later date, but when it comes to wide receivers, man, the conversation that we're going to continue to have into the draft with Travis Hunter playing wide receiver and DB, and the decision that he is going to have to make.
Wide out, man.
Yeah, the money says play wide out. It's going to be
heck yeah.
Yes, of course. Hey, can I give just a quick takeaway on the game that I was at, just because it featured the number 3 team in the country? It didn't necessarily play like it against Idaho, by the way, is a feisty FCS team. I mean, they're going to make some noise in the FCS playoffs. Jason Eck's done a great job there as the head coach at Idaho. But for Dan Lanning's team, this to kind of relate to our purposes here for draft evaluation, they had a program record 8 guys drafted last year, right? Bunch of guys on day 3. They had some high draft picks as well. But bunch of guys went, in the 4th through 7th rounds too. But I was talking to a couple of different teams ahead of this game, and I got anywhere between 17 and 19 draftable grades right now on guys at Oregon going into this season. Now, obviously that's going to change, right? As we go through the season, those numbers are, they'll fluctuate, but that's huge. They'll blow that 8 number off the water next year, most likely. I think Terrence Ferguson is one of those guys, at the tight end spot that's probably top 3 in his class based on where he's at right now going in. Luke Lachey, Colson Loveland, those guys, Iowa and Michigan up there. So Ferguson, awesome dude, awesome guy, right? NFL teams are going to love him, and he's just an absolute beast. But I went up and talked to him after the game, and I was like, hey man, look, I'm probably not telling you stuff you don't already know, but most of the teams I talk to have you as, top 3 guy in this class at tight end. He's like, man, I got to get rolling then, because I want to be number 1. And I was like, that's a pretty cool little mindset, to have week 1, after you just got, put to the test by an FCS squad. Like that dude's focused, and he's focused more this year on becoming a better all-around player, a little bit more of a physical presence in addition to his receiving threat. So something to watch.
One piece of homework for you, Rhett, because you mentioned that you've got Utah State at the Coliseum against USC, so I'm sure you get to spend some time with the Trojans.
Yes.
So this would be the question I'd love to ask. How do they view the fact? I went through their box score, and I did not see any like true freshmen. I don't think that did anything in that game, which I almost viewed it as a positive in that they've kind of developed guys up from within, and then they've gone out in the transfer portal and got a bunch of guys as well, upperclassmen guys. All those receivers are true sophomores that they have there. But I almost think it's kind of like an old school approach of development of they had I think 20 something high school kids of like, hey, red shirts, let's take our time. Let's put the weight on them. Let's get them ready to go. The other side of it is some of the 5-star mentality, and Buck, you can touch on that. I think some parts of USC that maybe got away from them I don't want to say it's like an entitlement that comes with a 5-star mentality, but there was some of that. This felt more like a blue collar USC team. And I'd just be curious what they would say about that. What do you think about that, Buck?
I agree. And I think what was interesting is the conversation that came out of that locker room afterwards. One, having known Miller Moss, because obviously he's a local kid. He played at Alamany before bouncing around a little bit. But look, man, the humility that your quarterback displays, I think it spreads throughout the team. The fact that he was like a 3 or 4 star, the fact that he has had to patiently wait for his opportunity, I think the team feeds off of that. And because he is what I call everybody's man, like everyone can relate to him, I think this team is built differently. But you're right, DJ. They don't have a lot of that 5-star feel they felt to him in the past. It seems like Lincoln Riley has been very intentional about how he's rebuilt this team this year. And from a cultural standpoint, they do have more blue-collar worker bee types as opposed to the megastars that have kind of been dotting the locker room the last couple of years.
I got it on the notes, boys. We'll talk to Lincoln and company about that this week in the production meetings.
There you go. There you go. See, Rhett does his homework, baby. That's what we're talking about here.
Gotcha.
All right, let's take a quick break. We come back. We've got a couple things coming your way. We've got the first rookie draft for week 1. It's here. We made it. And then also a little hits and misses to close us out today. But we'll take a break. We'll be right back right after this. All right. I don't make the rules here, guys. Nabil has done the draft order. I'm just let you know right now. I had nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. He's got me with the first pick. We're snake drafting here. Bucky's second, then Rhett, you get the turn. So you get to go back to back here, 3-4. This is now Nabil's saying we'll rotate it. Yeah, I know we're going to rotate it every week, Nabil, but it's just kind of where it started. But this we're changing it up. We can be flexible with the roster composition rules to this thing. We were last year. This year, because we need to see the running back thing kind of.
It's got to develop a little bit.
Figure it out a little bit because it's right now
we're dying breed.
Wasn't a great running back class, and we don't have a lot of guys ticketed for a bunch of carries. So instead of us kind of scraping together names, why do that when we have so many other pass catchers from wideouts and tight ends to choose from? So still 3 players apiece. Still the standard rules that we had in terms of scoring that we used last year to calculate this stuff. But we're going to do it is you got to take 1 quarterback. And then you can take 2 skill guys offensively. It could be, if you want to take a running back, knock yourself out, you can do that.
Sure.
But all the wideouts and tight ends are at your disposal. So I'm going to start things off first here. I have the first pick. And with my first selection, I'm going to go with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Ooh.
My first pick.
Maserati Marv. All right.
Let's keep it name brand here. We're going to keep Hey, I got my golf shirt on, and I'm just trying to put it in the fairway, boys. I'm not trying to get too risky here. Let's just put it right in the fairway.
Like I had the guy on top of my chart, so I was ready to do something wild and outlandish. I was going to go like, hey, let's go get this wide out.
Yeah.
And do whatever. And so now I'm all upset and kind of out of sorts. So let's do this. My whole plan is to make sure I take someone that is fed the ball. And so let's go get Malik Neighbors with the 2nd overall pick. Let's make sure LSU ready to rock, and we're going to put points up on the board. How about that?
Here we go.
I mean, okay, you guys took the top 2 wide receivers, certainly. Plenty of action left to be had. But did we?
But did we? But did we?
I think you did. So there's a lot available. Yeah. And look, it's going to take a minute to figure all this out. I'm almost thinking about a stack here, boys. I'm almost thinking about a stack here.
You're going to double up. I know you're going to go to Chicago. You're going to Chi-Town.
Yeah.
You're going to Chi-Town, aren't you?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little concerned about target share.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Love the player. Love the player.
Well, obviously in Rome Odunze. So give me Caleb Williams. I'm just going to go ahead and get my quarterback. Let's just go Caleb here. Let's just do that. All right.
What a great job by the scouting department. Wow. They really discussed one right there. Yeah. Way to find a hidden gem. Good job.
And you know what?
Be careful balancing on that limb out there, by the way. I don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all that. I want to have a little, I feel like I want to have a little action on Thursday night. Give me Xavier Worthy here for the Kansas City Chiefs as my wide receiver.
Is this going to be like your gosh, who was your guy? You had the Arizona guy last year. Oh, Puka was early. You also had the Arizona guy. You went early
Michael
last
Thomas?
year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's not that.
That's not that. All right. Buck, you're back up here.
Now, this is interesting because I'm sitting here and I had people down the line. I thought that I would be forced to go deep down in the well, but let's go with Bowers from the Raiders. Let's take him.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I just didn't know for sure. We don't have an injury report yet, do we?
Not yet on the Raiders.
I know I'll tell you what. I'm going to be generous that Buck, if for some reason Bowers does not play, you can have a backup after the draft's over. You can submit your backup. So I'm sure Drew is, Drew can give. It's week 1, Rhett. Let's just be if he's not healthy, we're doing the draft early. The injury reports haven't come out. We'll give him a fallback just in case.
That's fair enough. Okay.
Just in case.
All right.
I got to double up here, right? I got my last 2 picks.
Yes, last 2 picks.
Well, I've got to get I've got a quarterback, so I'm gonna go with Jaden Daniels.
Question: would you have taken him over Caleb Williams if you had the choice?
I think I would have for fantasy purposes, especially early in the year. I think he's going to use his legs a little bit. Again, I had a higher grade on Caleb. People act like, oh, how do you have him over him the whole process? I'm like, no, this is a different conversation.
Okay,
just who do I think hits the ground running? So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Jaden Daniels. And hey, what would the start of the season be if I wasn't a homer?
Lad,
you're taking Lad.
We're gonna go LA. Double D.
Okay.
Lad McConkey.
You must have some insider information if you're gonna take Lad. There must be something that you know.
There's no. This is
the inside information is he's good.
Yeah.
You must have some insider that he's going with that. Fed. He's gonna be fed. I mean, wow. Okay, so
running it 30 times. Okay.
I mean, all right. So
you don't get points for blocks on here. We no. All right, Buck, you're up.
So we got Caleb going.
You got to take your quarterback, buddy.
Yeah, you got to go quarterback.
So
I know.
Go ahead and lock up Bo Nix.
Got to take Bo Nix.
You go Bo Nix?
Bo Nix. Bo Nix.
Yeah. And I think, guys, in this situation, I'm going to go back and get my stack now. I'm going to go get Rome Odunze.
Oh, there you go.
So I end up getting it anyway. So give me Rome to pair with Caleb. And my guy Xavier Worthy. So I got speed, I got physicality, and I got
that squad.
Pizzazz.
I like that squad. I took Bowers really, really early in my fantasy draft. So I'm all on Brock if he's healthy. But Buck, give us your fallback.
Jermaine Burton. Jermaine Burton is my fallback.
No Jamar Chase. We go Jermaine Burton.
Jermaine Burton. Jermaine Burton is my fallback.
If we don't know what's going on with Jamar.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's
all right. Street. You know what's going to happen is there's dudes that we are not anticipating. They're going to have big weeks, and that's what shakes it up as we get into next week. But I do love that. I do love that little rookie draft. So to recap, I've got Marvin Harrison Jr., I've got Jaden Daniels and Lad McConkey. Bucky, you have got Neighbors, Bowers, and Nix with Burton on the on-deck circle in case we have an injury situation there with Bowers. And then Rhett, you had the combination that you came with late, which gets you Rome Odunze to go along with Caleb Williams, and then you also have Xavier Worthy for the fun explosive plays. And it's a standalone game, so that makes it fun. There's a fun factor. There's a fun factor when you're making these picks.
No doubt.
I like that. All right, let's get things a little old school here. Let's do hits and misses presented by Irish Spring. Awaken your senses with Irish Spring. Irish is a tough word for me, by the way. I don't know why. I can't get it.
Really?
Yeah, it's a struggle. It's a little bit of a struggle.
But
well, I think you just need to. I think you just need to channel. Why don't you channel your inner Marcus Freeman pregame? Like get yourself all juiced
oh man,
up,
he was hyped,
calling people
Dude.
out. Get a nice good lift in. It looked like he had a Rhett Lewis lift before he went out because everything was nice and snug. Nice.
Nice
before he went out there. Yeah, very very engaging with the Aggie crowd. Very engaging.
Okay, I'm going to go with the 2019 draft class, boys. Okay, so 2019 draft. I'm going to let you guys play along, and if you're listening, you can play along as well. But I'm going to give you my notes on a player. This is a player that I got right. Okay, this was a player that I had. Let's see, where was he? He was my 17th player in the draft, and this is an edge rusher, 6'0", 5'6", 260. Who ran 4.41, 4.3 DN, big time get off. He can bend at the top. He can dip and burst. He uses his long arm. He flashes a little knockback. He can get a little high at the point of attack, but the effort is outstanding. This is a guy who has really come on and blossomed as an elite edge rusher in this league, and went about like 9 or 10 spots beyond where I had him picked. So I feel good about labeling that as a hit.
Okay.
Okay, I was gonna say Brian Burns, but he went 16, and you had this player ranked 17 overall, right?
This player was ranked 17 overall, correct?
Josh Allen, Josh Hines Allen.
No.
I cheated.
Your guess is over. Now it's Bucky's turn. You just lost on that one.
When you said beyond, you mean he got drafted later than you had?
He got drafted later than where I had him. Yeah.
Okay.
I had him 17, and he got picked after.
I got you. Okay.
So I think,
my guess is 9-10 spots after.
He laid it out for us. I think it's Montez Sweat. He laid it right.
There you go. Ding, 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 ding.
He laid it right out there. When he said 9 spots beyond, didn't you just go to the page and you're like, okay, then.
He went to the page. You looked it up.
Oh no!
Wow. Okay, I'm not doing that anymore.
You think I can remember who got drafted?
Just in 2019. If I just say
12 years ago,
can you
names in the back of my brain?
Okay. All right. So I'm giving too many clues. There's too many clues there. I'm just giving you the draft year, and then I'll let you look at the guys. I'll give you the draft year and the position. Draft year and position. That's it. You leave a lot of clues. You would think with an Indiana education, someone else would have been able to figure that out, but apparently.
You confused me. You led me off the trail.
Let's go to a miss. Okay, boys. This
Andre Dillard.
Actually, I was getting ready to read Andre Dillard, but there's a couple more I have to choose from here. I could have given you Andre Dillard very quickly. All right, now I'm going deeper. Deeper. Okay, here we go. Oh gosh, I'm gonna. All right, I got to get out of the first round because I feel like it's too easy. I'm gonna get out of here. Let me try and find somebody that ended up being good that I wasn't as high on.
I got one. I would love.
Okay. This is an offensive lineman. This guy has played center, strong hands. He can anchor. His hands get a little wide, but he can recover. He's really good on combos. I just thought he fell off blocks a little too much. Had some center guard flexibility. I had him as a second round player, which I believe that is. He went a little bit beyond that, but he's been a much better player than where I had him graded.
So this is a miss on the
6044, 6044, 310 with a 508 40. This is a player that I had in the second round range that actually, let's see, maybe he did go. Where did he go? So I think he was. Oh, okay, yeah. No, he still went later than where I had him picked, but he ended up being he's outplayed his draft position. And I can promise you this: if you guys can't get it, Nabil's going to get it.
Oh yeah,
Elton Jenkins.
Jenkins.
It's the only team Nabil knows.
Nibio would have been all over that. I'm surprised he hadn't put the answer in the chat.
By the way, he's played tackle. Has he played center at all at Green Bay? Guard, tackle everywhere.
Un poquito. I think he's moved around a little bit, but he's really, really good. So that one, I'm labeling that as a miss. But the funny thing was, I had Andre Dillard all queued up, but it was too easy.
I mean, that was
golly. I'd like to have that one back.
Glares at you. Yeah.
That's something that is the benefit of the new conference alignment is that, Andre Dillard comes to the draft process and you're like, this guy's got really, really good feet. I don't know if he can anchor. Well, there will be no mystery anymore. When you have Penn State and Michigan and Ohio State and all those boys on the schedule, you're going to find out guys can handle power if you're looking at tackles out west. So, well, there you have it. That was
hit.
Well, hold on. What do we got here? This segment was brought to you by Irish Spring. Awaken your senses with Irish Spring. Very nice. There we go. There's little hits and misses. It's been a minute since we've done that. Anything else you boys want to add before we get out of here? This was a fun one as we get right into the NFL week here.
I mean,
well, I do like you giving us the un poquito flair as we will head down to South America to get some Packers Eagles on Friday night. Fired up for that one. Want to see what that spectacle looks like. That is a passionate group of people down there, mostly for football. We'll see how passionate they are for football de Americano.
Buck, should we invite Rhett to our week 1 preview episode? We've got 2 more episodes coming this week. Or is he going to bail out? He doesn't want to do it.
We'll see. I'm a Monday, Tuesday guy. We'll see. I don't know.
Wow.
I got a lot of responsibilities out here, guys. I gotta go see USC practice. I got a lot going on here, boys.
Oh my gosh. Just extending an olive branch and then just getting beat over the head with it.
All right. Rhett's keeping the main.
Yeah, Rhett did a good job, by the way. I got to see the post-game interviews, sent him a text. Did a nice job. Post-game interviews.
Thanks to Dan
Big
Lanning
Ten Mike flag. Looked good. All right, that's going to do it for us today. A couple more episodes coming your way. Again, that'll give us 3 for this week. And then next week, 5 days a week. We got you covered. So, yeah, it's a 5-pack. So that's going to do it for us. Appreciate you guys. See you next time right here on Move the Sticks.